So, you guys are all here for this super big announcement. Man, so much to talk about. Well, not that much, but some pretty big things to talk about. So we are going to be launching our website this Friday, and then the very following Saturday, so the day after, we will be announcing the Proto-Packs. When you can get the Proto-Packs, how to get the Proto-Packs, etc., etc., etc. So Friday, we will be launching this website, worldofnomnom.com, and we will have a shop, and that's where you guys will be able to get these Proto-Packs. When the pre-orders and stuff will go up, we will announce that Saturday. So, like I said, not much, but pretty big news.
Yeah, and let's talk about, just in case anybody's, didn't catch our last stream, let's talk about what the Proto-Packs are, I mean, it's our first official drop. It's our version of sample cards. We just think prototype is a cooler word than sample card,
cool,
so we're calling it Proto-Packs. Yeah, also it reminds me of Ghostbusters with like the proton packs, so it's I feel like it's a nice little reference there. You're going to be able to get 3 in the order. We're putting a cap on that just because we want everybody who's here to be able to get some and actually participate in the sample drop. That's kind of what we're going for here with launching the website and making it public too, is we really want anybody who knows about NomNom and everybody to be able to get these first drops. These cards are going to have effects on them. You'll actually be able to see some of how the game operates and start to actually read and comprehend some of the effects, which is pretty exciting. And they're going to have a whole range of rarities, like you mentioned before, from common all the way up through cosmic rare. We've got 7 rarities, if you guys didn't know. It's quite a hierarchy of rare cards. And so the Proto-Packs are going to be kind of your first taste of that. I cannot wait. Any top ones? I'm not going to say anything about that.
Let's just say,
we'll just move on.
all the rarities are included in these first Proto-Packs in the first 4 series, which will kind of segue into that. So we have 4 different opportunities to get in on the Protos. The Proto-Packs. We're releasing 4 different series, each with 6 different cards of all the different rarities, and maybe that 7th rarity. But each of these series is going to highlight different cards, different types of cards that you will get familiar with once you've learned how to play this game, or if you're just a collector. We have a good handful of different types of cards that are obtainable in the NomNom verse, but we have a pretty good lineup of the next 3 series after Series 1, highlighting all these individual types and the different cards and how they interact with one another. So you guys will be able to get a good glimpse of what's to come. Not necessarily enough to play with quite yet, but you'll definitely be the very first to see what these cards will do, what they look like, and start to begin to understand the inner mechanics that will come to the surface later.
Which is just, for me, it's really cool to see this starting to come together, because we've been really working hard on not only the game, but all these effects and balancing everything. And there was a moment where we were talking about just getting the prototype art out with mostly just the card art and a bit of the UI on there, but not really finalizing any of the card effects. And it feels really good to be oh no, you're going to be able to read these things, and you're going to be able to start to feel out how these mechanics operate. I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of questions after Proto-Packs start to get opened.
Let's just say we feel really confident about just exposing a little bit more, because game testing went very well, and version 2 game testing is about to be really fun. Me and Johnny have been creating our list. We will be reaching out to all you game testers very soon. But yeah, I'm excited, Johnny. I'm so excited.
Yeah. We've got something special here, guys. I really can't wait for you to try it and get your hands on these cards. when it comes to tournaments, the protos we will have to smite you on that one. Just because we really want to make these first prototype cards really special. So they might feel a little different than the finalized NomNom cards. We're still kind of figuring out those final details, so I think it's safe to say the Proto-Packs are going to be really cool to look at and collect, but you won't be playing them at a tournament.
Mm-hmm. But they will have enough content there to where, you know, in free play, have at it. You know, if you want to throw down and flex on your competitor, by all means. But yeah, until this next set of game testing, most of the pretty much all 4 series of prototype cards will be pretty much off limits for tournaments once we get to that point. But who knows? Realistically, we got to limit it to, you know, something. I mean, we can't make it allowed if not everybody has their hands on it, but I mean, who's to say that a card will not undergo any changes from now to then? So maybe some, but
yeah, like if we're
realistically
so ahead of the game that we actually don't even have to change this stuff, and we just go, oh my god, our sample cards are perfect, then yeah, sure, we can make them tournament playable. But you guys know how this works. If you've worked in any kind of development, things change over time. Exactly. And so these cards will probably be a little different than the official base set cards in terms of effects and power level.
Exactly. Some will be. We do have somewhat of a chase system installed in all 4 series. So we have a card that represents each rarity, and their count within the packs are adjusted as such. So until the very first series is released, I don't want to release any numbers or stats yet, but we will eventually disclose, you know, the exact print run and count on everything, just to be transparent, so you guys know. So everything out in the circuit of everything is 100% crystal clear. So yeah. Maybe elaborate a little bit more on that question, Phil. But yeah, like since we do have a card corresponding with each rarity and stuff, there's going to be, you know, some subtle to more extreme changes with the UI and what you see on the card, and, you know, what stands out to you between the different rarities. Oh yeah, like Pokemon alt art crazy. Yeah, I think so. You guys can be the final judges, but I think our final UI and the look of these cards and the feel of them, and, you know, the more rare ones versus the less rare ones, you're going to be able to see it and feel it. So yes, I do feel like when you get that crazy holo, you'll know.
Okay, so this is how we are going to be approaching NomNom releases once we actually get into, like, once we're rolling and the Kickstarter has closed and we're into official production. Our plan is to each year drop a major base set, a large set that's going to encompass whatever new mechanics and new themes that we want to work into that set. I'm not going to give any spoilers yet, but we've got some plans for you guys in terms of where we're going to be headed with the base sets. So you will be getting one large base set a year, and then after that we will be dropping 2 other types of sets throughout the year. One is going to be a mini set, which we're going to do several of throughout the year, and these mini sets will include new functional cards, and it will be kind of our way of addressing the meta as it's developing. So we can watch it develop and watch players figure things out, and then be able to present them with new challenges and solutions through these mini sets. These mini sets are also going to be themed, so they're going to have some really cool kind of, you know, picture something like Nomsters at the beach type of thing. Some really fun themed, just like cool card art. You know, we all love the Surfing Pikachu and stuff like that, so we want to be able to explore some of those fun ideas as well with our mini sets. And then we're also going to offer collector sets, which are going to focus mostly on alt art, kind of like Secret Lairs that Magic the Gathering does. We'd like to actually reach out to artists who we like and who are outside the world of NomNom and bring them in, open a doorway to someone and ask them to come on in and kind of redraw some of these characters, give us some new alt arts, and create some new styles for the world. So those are how the drops are going to progress throughout the year. You're going to get that big drop to start things off, and then you're going to get mini sets throughout the year and collector sets with alt arts throughout the year as well. We want it to feel like you're waiting for that big drop each year, but then after that, you get to be excited for each of these little supplemental sets to carry you through. And by the time you get to the next big set, you're starting to get introduced to some of those new mechanics. You're starting to pick up on where we might be headed, So, yeah, definitely have some good plans for how things are going to go with the official drops. I can't wait for you guys to see some more of this stuff. Not yet. We still have to get them printed and shipped in, which is also why we're not trying to rush this drop. We'll keep you guys totally up to date with every step of the process with the protos and where they are and what kind of time you should be expecting for them to get printed up. We are already talking to printers and things like that, but we don't have the cards in hand already.
The first and second series will be pretty much pretty streamlined in the next few weeks, but without saying too much, with the website dropping on Friday and that other big news Saturday coming out, more will be clear on the Proto-Pack release and stuff. But just know that it's going to be kind of in that window between now and all the way leading up to before you get your Kickstarter fulfillment and stuff. So as you wait for all the big NomNom stuff to happen, we are gonna keep you guys happy with new drops and new NomNom stuff coming out over the the rest of the timeline leading up to fulfillment of Kickstarters. So we do got a pretty decent timeline plotted out, so you guys will be getting your hands on some pretty fun loot as we progress leading up to the big stuff.
We know firsthand how it is to be waiting on that Kickstarter to arrive and then waiting again and then like 9 months later still waiting for that Kickstarter to arrive and having not gotten anything in the meantime, and you're like, what do I even like about that game? I'm pretty sure that was a cool game. You're like waiting for it to show up. We really want to make sure that you guys keep on getting things in hand, That's part of the reason we also want to do these smaller supplemental drops and things between sets, is because we want to be able to get things out to you, have them show up on time and have you be able to see how the game grows and changes with each little set of new functional cards.
Under promise and over deliver. That is our goal. We want you guys to be happy with every single step of the way, and I believe and always feel free to voice concerns and things we could possibly do to improve. But yeah, we are doing our best to take everything into consideration, and so just know that when we say something and we finally announce it, that we mean it. We're not just posting willy-nilly without without the plan in motion. So with the website, with these Proto-Packs, if you bear with us, because as much as we want to disclose, we got to keep some some stuff for a surprise and shock value. So. But just know, with all these announcements, that things are in motion, and like Johnny has stated, we will be transparent as possible. So, when we know things, you guys know things. But
exactly. Hey, by the way, Phil, any online events to get some rare cards, it is definitely high on our priority list to get a TTS version of the game playable for people, so that we can have everybody able to get a hold of this game, even if while you're waiting for the Kickstarter or whatever. We want everybody to be able to participate and enjoy this. So yes, online tournaments, yes, 4 prizes, that's definitely something that we have in the plan.
Yep. Just know that
and as soon as we get the TTS up, you will know as soon as that TTS is available.
You sure will. Anybody that knows me pretty well knows like I get excited, and so like trust me, when we get things figured out, like you know shortly after we do. So, what was I about to say? Yeah, tabletop simulator. That is something we are already considering, and since we are doing our best not to show favoritism, to any one community that exists within TCG communities, but we are trying to cater to the game players as much as the collectors, but tabletop simulator is the best way to do that, so that's something we are already kind of working on and considering and kind of working out. And just to kind of touch upon like something you brought up with, everybody's been waiting on Kickstarters, everybody knows that feeling. When you are starting from the ground up, one thing I just want to like maybe to help out some of these other Kickstarters, is like, there is a lot of work that goes into this, and there's a lot of things going on all at once, so like I've stated before, if we're not stepping on the right beat, or like tell us, like we are all ears, and in some ways we're learning the inner workings of how we can do things and do things better, so the more input the better, like
yes, we are always trying to improve, and we have a pretty good idea of where we're stepping. Like we've got a good direction. But that doesn't mean that we're not always open to other people's opinions, especially people who've got experience in these sectors. It's always valuable to hear what people think, So yeah, and those of you, that's going to apply to the game as well. I'm in charge of R&D, and that's going to come down. That means that any decisions that you guys need, like, just contact me. I want to be very available. I want things to be very clear. I want everybody to know how to play this game and to teach their friends how to play this game. Because that's how we're going to grow the community. If a game's hard to learn, then it's hard to play. So we want everybody to be able to learn and understand. We want the game to feel very intuitive, even though it is somewhat of a new experience. It really is going to tap into those real-time strategy muscles for those of you who are, StarCraft or Command & Conquer and things like that. You're definitely going to get some of those feels in this game. And so it's much different from other card games. A lot different. I'm proud of what we made, and I'm excited for people to learn it. And I want everybody to learn it right and to be able to teach other people about the game and get people excited. I love seeing new card games. When I walk in an LGS and I see something new, I'm like, what is this? And I walk over and check it out, and I feel like this game is going to have that same kind of appeal. The moment you see it, you're just like, what is this thing? How does this work? And when you guys get to play this thing, I can't wait to see like how some of you really serious competitive players start to try to crack this game, because it is some new territory when it comes to strategy.
Me and Johnny currently, we are familiar with some of you gamers out there and how you like to crack and break games and just figure out. And we honestly believe we like have a game here that like is not going to have just one dominant meta, but several, and like we've discussed with our sets and how we want to release things and how we want to address, things in the game and the meta. We do think it's broad, we're hoping that at tournaments we see a bunch of beautiful, elaborate, decks constructed by, all you gamers out there, but I seriously do think we have something here that is very unique and, is gonna, like Johnny said, it's gonna really exercise your strategy muscles, when you can't rely on just a simple Google of what's the best deck, it's just like, wow, like join this this thread miles long how all the different decks in NomNom can be constructed to be good. we're hoping to see a bunch of creativity and just, you know, people thinking outside the box. I think that's where the most strengths and weaknesses will be found, is not in what you think is going to work, but what just from many games and, you know, different tests will find, you know. So I don't think you're going to see a bunch of like just cookie cutter decks at, you know, tournaments and stuff. And, you know, if we do see them, then back to the drawing board, right, Johnny? But as
well, yeah, then
I
the
think
next mini set is going to be a nuclear bomb, you know? Honestly, I'm one of those spikes. I'm one of those guys that tries to break the game. You give it to me and I'm like, cool, let me see what I can do here, you know, and dive in there. So, being that this is a game that was created by somebody like me who's trying to break it, I am very curious to see how those of you, you know, who are in that same mindset, what you can do with the game. And if you do break it, I'll be very impressed. But then I'll be releasing a mini set very shortly to repair the damage you've done. And I feel like that's just going to be such an exciting relationship to have with the players. Is like, dude, you figured something out. Good job. Enjoy it for the next 3 weeks.
We're gonna have those, like, some of those cocky players, you know, that come out and it's just like, yeah, this card was made because of me. You know, it's like wear that medal proudly, because like we do plan on staying on top of gameplay. You know, I honestly, you know, just coming from a collector world, like, you know, I was very young when I got into comic book collecting and stuff. I feel like the collecting element creates itself, you know. The chase cards, what people are really into, you know. Like, in some cases, you got common cards that are more popular than rare cards, just because, you know, that speaks to the people, you know. So, I understand that better than anybody. So after our first set, you know, like, collectability, you know, speaks for itself, you know. It's you know, it writes itself, you know. So, but one thing we are striving to do is the other side of the coin, the playability, the, you know, the hours of fun poured into a game. You know, we've all been there, where we've, you know, scrolled our cursor over the play hours and just kind of like gasp like how many hours we can put into something we enjoy doing. And I think that's really what me and Johnny are striving for, is just that endless, you know, memory, playability, creating moments, and just endless fun. So
yeah, you know, and to do that, I really believe you got to have a good foundation for the game. You know, it's got to be stable, it's got to be understandable, and room to grow. You know, so that you should be able to look at a game and kind of extrapolate the rulings yourself. In my opinion, that's the best way that it works. You know, I feel like Magic is one of those games that's really nailed it, where you could have played Magic 6 years ago, put it down, totally forgot how to play, come back to it, and relearn it in like a matter of minutes. It's such a intuitive game once you learn how to read the things, and so I'm taking great care with the writing and the wording on these cards, so that everybody will be able to read the card and go, I know what that does. I get that, you know, so that we don't have to get into different, you know, well, I read it this way, well, I read it this way. That's why I'm here. I wrote it this way, so this is how it works.
Yeah. Streamline. I feel like that's one of the most importance for pretty much any game, whether it be card game, tabletop. You know, it needs to be streamlined. It needs to be understood. But also there needs to be flavor there. It just can't be dry. You know, rules either. You know, so I believe the mechanics that me and Johnny have developed are very streamlined, very understood. There is a learning curve, but I think there's a learning curve with any game. But once those basic rules are understood. Everything else is just like, oh, okay, oh, yep, I don't have to look at this card more than once, you know. It's just like, I get it, you know. So hopefully that what we've done in our verbiage and just everything translates to, you know, the masses. But that's where test play and, you know, all the feedback we can get comes in, you know, so we can make those fixes and changes and stuff.
I cannot wait for some of you guys to start playing this. I really can't wait to start getting feedback on this game, dude. It's really something special, and I can only say that so much because I gotta wait till I can give it to you. But man,
hey,
I can't wait for you guys to see this and start giving feedback on it.
We do got quite a few questions here, so let's address a few of these real quick.
Let's do it.
So, Crooked Rats asks, so one thing I definitely want to do is I want to do fun packs and fun themes and stuff. We've already addressed this with some of the sets we plan to do and how we plan to do it. Are we gonna like address every single holiday and thing and event? Maybe. Definitely Halloween. I like Halloween. Johnny, you like Halloween, right? Christmas, you know. Maybe some of the big ones we will address, you know. But one thing we're definitely very adamant about is, like we stated earlier, is like whatever we say we're going to do, we want to deliver on, and we don't want you guys waiting around months, you know, for it. So, it's definitely not out of the question, but just know that if we've announced it, it's gonna happen, you know. So, but you know, I'm a sucker for the holidays. So, Halloween, you know, Mother's Day, Father's Day, July, 4th of July, Christmas. You know, some of the big holidays we'll probably address every once in a while. You know, maybe yearly. You know, but we don't want to get carried away with just a bunch of you know, what's the word I'm looking for, Johnny? Like, just get carried away with like a bunch of
novelty stuff.
Yeah, promos and stuff that just makes it hard for you guys to, you know, collect what we're doing. You know, so it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility, but be patient with us, and you know, it's, you know, we me and Johnny love the holidays. You know, we'll definitely. I'm pretty sure the whole team probably likes some of the holidays, right? So
yeah,
it's a possibility.
I mean, I think it's definitely. I think it's safe to say it's definitely a goal of ours to do that. It's just going to be something that's included in the schedule of the mini sets and the collector sets. So we don't necessarily want to say, yes, every year you'll get boom, 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 because that would be us saying you're going to get a mini set, boom, 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 you know? So we're going to be playing it kind of by ear as we design these things and map out the next year worth of cards. But we definitely have our eyes on holidays. I think it's a golden opportunity to do some really cool themes, and I know you guys would love it. So definitely looking at it. Are we going to do holiday sets like you said all the time every year? No.
When all doors lead to NomNom too, like that leaves a lot of realm for possibilities. You know, it's just like when all doors lead to NomNom, we can get really fun with it. You know, so it's not off the table. Yeah. But
like you said, Wayward, I love that. A holiday they celebrate in NomNom. Totally, there are definitely holidays celebrated in Nom.
Nommas.
Nomness.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So just trying to give me that XP. Oh, we'll give you all the XP you need, Wayward. Argos is in here. Argos is in here, everybody. Oh my God.
What's up, Argos?
You're in here, dude. I didn't. What? Let's see. Is it just the NomNom verse? I know we got the other sets named out, but do we have like an official name for the base set? That's a good question. Welcome to NomNom.
Yeah, I think that at this point we were just calling it like Welcome to NomNom, but that is not to say that's the final name. That's a good call. You know, it's funny, like Vic says, we've already mapped out the names for the following sets. We've got like multiple years mapped out, but we didn't name this first set.
I don't know. I guess it wasn't that I didn't think of it. It was just like NomNom verse. It's just like boom, base set. But you know, it kind of But maybe we should come up with a special name. NomNom verse. Welcome to NomNom, the world of NomNom.
Yeah.
What can I get you?
It's a great suggestion. We're gonna stew on that a little bit.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we could even host a little poll or something.
Maybe I was ill prepared for that question, but I feel like NomNom verse base set, it's new. It's new. It's NomNom. It's apparently needs a base set name, so we're gonna come up with one. Welcome to NomNom, home of the NomNom. What can I get you? Let's see.
The first doorway.
Yeah, we're gonna kick it down. Boom.
Circling back to that point is, those of you who didn't hear us say this in previous streams, a big part of NomNom is we want you to feel like you can be involved and touch this world and have an effect on it and change it over time. We're going to be consistently holding fan art contests and even fan fiction contests for everybody to be able to make creations within the world. Even those of you who, may not consider yourselves very artistically talented, it's more about some of these contests are going to be more about the creation of a creature, just an idea, Your Nomster, who is it? How does it operate? What kind of environments does it live in? What's its diet? What's its life like? These are the things we want to hold contests for. Not to say that we won't hold actual artist contests, like for those of you who are legit and want to do professional level art. That's awesome. We can host those contests as well. But we want everybody to feel like they can touch this world and influence it. There are several Nomsters here in this base set that were inspired by the creations from the first fan art contest that we held, and we would like to continue that as a rolling tradition. So anytime that you guys post in the fan art channel or you post in the fan fiction channel, trust me, Vic and I have our eyes on that. And when we're asking you, hey, what's his name, or tell me more about this creature, there's a reason that we are asking that. And now, we would never use your creature and not talk to you about it. That's going to be a whole different conversation. But come on, bring it, guys. We want you to really be able to go, oh my gosh, that's my thing. I just showed up in NomNom. And that's kind of part of the magic, is we want to be able to connect this world to everybody, including you guys.
Yeah, like being an extra in a movie, it's just like, I was in Alien. Oh yeah, were you? It's just like, yeah, I was right there. Did you see me? I don't know. Personally, I think it would be awesome to get anybody that's passionate. Have you ever had that $1 million idea, but you're not an inventor, you're not an artist, so you can't make it happen, but then you see it months later and it's on an infomercial and you're just like, man, that guy's probably making millions, and just I thought of that, well, not only can you be part of NomNom and help shape it and be a part of it and reach out and touch it, but you can have that impact, you can be like, hey, that's me, that I came up with that. I remember when I was real young, I'm gonna do a little quick anecdote here, but I remember when I was young, and Toonami, for those of you that are not familiar with Toonami, but it was a special on Cartoon Network where they played anime and stuff. But the Toonami crew was this whole space crew and stuff, and I remember they had an art contest, and I remember the kid that won and the creature he created and stuff. The kid, he wasn't Picasso or anything, but he sometimes you have that idea that you need to see on the big screen or whatever, you need to see to fruition. Let us help you see it to fruition. We can be a part of that possibility, and I don't know, it's like he won this contest and his little character he created was part of the Toonami crew. And I just remembered thinking, like, I should have sent in something, you know. As a kid, I was just like, I didn't send in anything, you know. I could have, but I didn't, you know. And it's just like, we don't care if you think you have the skill or not. We just, like, if you have the idea, if you have the passion, you know, if you have the creativity, the imagination, like, let us, you know, let us, you know, get an idea of, like, what your world looks like, you know. Like, let's bring it to fruition.
Give us the seed, you know. Let us plant it and grow it in NomNom, like so many things grow in NomNom.
Yep, and you know, sky's just the beginning, you know. It's not the limit, you know. Let's push NomNom to the edge, man. Let's see how crazy we can make this place, you know.
Because trust me, Vic and I got it plenty crazy. Like, if you guys didn't give us any ideas, we got this covered. We got this covered. But we want you guys to be a part of it. We want you to be able to feel the same excitement that we feel when we're creating new Nomsters, new kaiju, new dinos, you know. It's a really fun process for us. And so we want to include you guys in on that process and let you feel a bit of that excitement with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I did not picture this going 43 minutes now. So welcome to me and Johnny's tangents. There's a lot of them. But yeah, feel free to, like, the floor is open. Ask your guys' questions. We've pretty much disclosed everything we wanted to. You know, we got the website coming out on Friday. On the website, you'll be able to subscribe, you know, so you can get newsletters and stuff, which will be greatly appreciated for you guys, those of you that are truly interested in the project. But yeah, we announced the Proto-Packs next Saturday after the website launch, so everything that you guys need to know about those is going on. Me and Johnny have kind of talked quite a bit about, like, a bunch of stuff, so if you guys have any questions that we haven't addressed already, go ahead. Sketch cards, pretty much the rough design of what the official sketch cards are going to look like is put together, and yeah, very soon, you know, those are going to be in the hands of the artists, and we can start doing fun things with those.
Yeah, sketch cards will be happening before the Kickstarter launches.
For sure.
Those are definitely something, just like these sample sets, they're going to be dropping between now and September. It's just a matter of getting the sketch cards printed, because we want them to be official. Like, we want them to actually be NomNom sketch cards marked for NomNom, so you know that these are very special, because they're going to be the first official sketch cards for the NomNom verse game that we've made yet. So we'll make it very cool for you guys.
Things we plan on doing is not only will they be serialized and official to each particular artist, but they will also be like, if you are lucky enough to get your hands on one, you will also receive a certificate of authenticity to come with it. So yeah, it's just when we announce it, just know that shortly after we announce it, things will come to fruition. But yeah, we are working on those, and they are coming, and very soon they are coming. We just don't want to, you know, half-ass anything, you know. We want to full-ass everything we do. So.
Full-ass everything.
Yeah. And so the sketch cards just we're trying to go above and beyond, you know, so they are coming.
Boy, you just wait. You just wait.
Ooh, boy.
Yes. We'll just say yes. But boy, you just wait.
Yeah. we definitely want to get figurines and stuff involved with the entirety of the project. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
We'll get more into that. We'll get more into that in another stream. Yeah, because there's a lot to unpack there. But yeah, short answer, figures. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first ever to declare it as such, for sure. I know that there are some elements to our game that you might see in some other TCGs, but they're still TCGs. So this is the first TCRPG. We're the first.
Yeah.
What's up?
I haven't seen another game that operates on this in the same manner as this game, to be honest. Like, I'm not kidding when I'm like, I don't really know what to compare it to other than real-time strategy games like StarCraft, World of Warcraft, and things like chess. It really does feel more like you're playing a board game or an RPG with cards than that you're playing a card game. So yeah, first ever TCRPG, I feel like we could say yes to that.
Yeah, I feel comfortable. And if there is another TCRPG out there before us, then move over.
High fives. We'll take it from here. So we will definitely get into more specific details.
I have something we can start off with, though, Johnny. Like, so our Kickstarter tiers are gonna have like really cool names. we have
Is that all you're gonna give?
That's it.
That really names, guys. Next question.
Like the tier names are pretty clever. Yeah, next question.
I can say this. In terms of the tiers. We will have a range, everything from just people who want to get the game and play it, like just want to have a kit so they can play, all the way up to the serious collectors who want the full spread of booster boxes and products. We definitely are going to have a nice variety of options for you guys.
We also we have plans and schemes to scale the project due to interest in the project. So like print run and international distribution and stuff are two things that we're already considering for the Kickstarter run. But that all kind of just, is up in the air. It's being planned out. We're taking it into consideration, but it also comes down to the overall consensus of the public and stuff. So
there will be certain variables that change depending on how many people jump on board. But our intention from the start, like we will continue to repeat, is to take into consideration not only the players but our collectors and make sure that this Kickstarter is very collectible and is exactly the type of first edition base set drop that you want.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky finding that happy middle ground between like, oh, there's too much of it and oh, there's not enough to play it. So
yeah,
so
you can't make everybody happy.
Yeah,
but you just do it the best you can,
But I think with our rarity system that we've installed into it, with our different rares you can get, no matter what size it is, or what size very first print set will be, it will we'll create it accordingly, So those chase cards are still chase cards, nothing changes.
It definitely won't be a print, it's not going to be like a print to order type of set either. When we're saying there will be some variables, we're not saying it's going to be print to order, we're just going to match whoever jumps on board. There's still going to be a limit, even if we get a lot of interest. We're going to be capping it to make sure that we keep things collectible.
Yep, we do have a minimum, we do have a maximum cap, but we are also aware that, like, when it was most crucial, there wasn't enough product going around for people to actually get invested and start playing the game. So like I said, we believe we are working around that perfect, medium and approach to everything. But just know we are taking, all parties into consideration on this. But
yes.
we we got this.
We're not just like shooting for the moon or just like going for it. We are definitely looking at other Kickstarters, comparing, looking at what type of funding results in what type of print runs, how to hit the best numbers and make sure that you guys are happy with the product. The product is still collectible, it's still limited, but we also make enough to fund our next releases and all that. There's a bit of a balancing act that has to happen. But just know we are not going to short you guys on the collectability. Not at all.
And enough is there to be played with, and so yeah, I think everybody will be happy with the way that we will be presenting all this and orchestrating this whole Kickstarter. So, do you have anything else on the Kickstarter that we would like to disclose, or?
I think in terms of specifics on the products and the tiers, we should hold off a bit. We should hold off a bit on that. If there's anything that you're thinking of that you want to put out there, but I'm planning on us doing another stream just to break down the Kickstarter.
As we get closer, guys, details will become more and more crystal clear. But like I stated earlier, there's a lot of different things, going on all at once when you're trying to do this project. So once, numbers and stats all become more clear to us, they'll be clear to you guys. So just know that we do have minimums, maximums, things considered, but it's all a matter of just trying to address things as they come, things that are hard to predict. We want to be ready for everything. Need it and not have it, then have it and not need it. However that saying goes, you know what I'm trying to say. Need it and not have it, then have it and not need it.
Yeah, anyway. like we've continued to say, our intention here is to be transparent with you guys as we move forward with the project, which means, like he said, we are promise and deliver. We want to tell you exactly what we're going to be doing, which is also why at some of these points we're not going to be giving you the full answer quite yet, because we don't have it totally mapped out. Once we have the full answer mapped out, you guys will know. You guys will have it, and we're going to do that not only with leading up to the Kickstarter, but afterwards with all of our products and drops. We really want to keep you guys in the loop for what's happening. So you're throwing money into this product, here's where it's going. Yep. Here's what it's turning into,
Moody here has a great example of a question that we can address, but we're not 100% crystal clear on yet. So, no. We have done zero outreach to any of the grading companies. We've had a couple smaller grading companies reach out to us, just inquiring about the game, not so much to reach out to us about some type of partnership for grading and stuff, but it is something we have considered and something we have talked about, but something that is finalized, no. I have communicated with people from PSA, people from CGC and stuff, not so much on the front of NomNom, but they're aware of me, and some of them are aware of the NomNom project. So it's something that we will address very, very soon and try to have handled before you guys ever get cards in hand. But we're just not quite at that established point to where we can comfortably reach out to these very busy highly reputable grading companies such as PSA and CGC and Beckett and all these grading companies we know that the top collectors and most people are familiar with, but just know that we are thinking about it, and we do want all that stuff established before you guys ever get product in hand. So when we know more, you guys will know more.
What's the best type of meat in NomNom? I'm saying my favorite's fried bubble crab, personally.
Yeah,
I'm a big
bubble
fan
crab.
of fried bubble crab.
Yeah, butter crab and some melted butter. Where the butter comes from, there's several different sources. You can get some highly tasty butter, but yeah, what lactating creatures and nomsters produce the best dairy? You'll have to wait and find out.
And yeah, we do talk about this stuff.
We really do. We really do. It's crazy. Like I said earlier, welcome to me and Johnny's tangents. We'll be knee deep in some heavy mechanic discussion, and all of a sudden we're talking about the most minute, ridiculous details in NomNom, such as where does everybody get their cheese and milk? Oh man.
So conventions are definitely something we will keep you guys in the loop for. Definitely, we definitely want to make some convention appearances, and we also, like we mentioned in previous streams, we want to make connections with LGSs and actually host some official events where Vic and I show up. So you don't have to wait in line at a convention, forever, or you don't have to navigate that whole chaos. Yeah. We want to be able to get you guys to meet us, hang out, get cards signed, and just kind of maybe even play us in some games, So conventions are on the list, but also just cool NomNom official events at LGSs with official pricing.
Nope. No, it is not. We actually, obviously, we're focusing on the main tournament, standard way of playing, but we have experimented with different options and how those different options can be played. One example of this is what we're kind of coining as Overlord play. I'll let Johnny kind of give you the details on that, but we have experimented with a few, but yeah.
So typically, like I said in the previous gameplay explanation, the goal of the NomNomverse is to traverse the dungeon and either slay the opposing boss monster, which will get you a game win, or to slay the opposing party, which will also get you a game win. So your goal is to kind of control your party members as they move through the dungeon, and also control your nomsters that are going to be your defenders, who attack the opposing party when they make it onto your side of the board. So there's a lot of offense. There's almost like an offense and a defense phase to your turn, and you're playing the role of both the commander of your party and also the commander of your nomsters. That's how the competitive play is going to go, the 1v1. But we're playing with ideas, for instance, like you mentioned, Overlord format, where there would be one player who was given all the powers of the nomsters. He was in charge of basically having a oversaturated dungeon full of these monsters that you're going to have to make it through to get to their boss. And then you and your friends will actually be the party members moving through that dungeon and dealing with all of their monsters and challenges. So it'll be kind of like a player versus dungeon type of format, where one player is the dungeon master and the other players are the party members trying to defeat that. We are going to have several kind of interesting formats like this that we'll break down in more detail as you guys actually see the game and learn how it operates. Because obviously it can get a little tricky, me trying to explain to you an alternative format for a game that you haven't even played yet. But we do have multiplayer formats. And like Vic said, although we're focused on the competitive 1v1 right now so that we can have tournaments, Yes, multiplayer I think is going to be really, really fun. Like, similar to multiplayer in Magic or something where you get your friends together and the games get really high power and things get totally wild, we definitely want to have a bit of that for NomNom.
Unless there's any last minute questions, I suppose we can start wrapping this up.
Yeah, last call, guys. Get your drinks now.
Victor, would you adopt a 30-year-old man? Not me asking for a friend. There's so many right and wrong ways to answer this question, but I suppose I'll start off with the wrong ones. Do you know any tricks?
Can you do a kickflip?
Anyway, we're gonna end this before it heads down a path we don't want it to go. I'm just kidding.
Guys, we love you. Thank you so much for hanging out. This has been really fun. We will obviously let you guys know when the next stream is happening, and keep your eyes out for the
One more question
on Friday.
I didn't get a chance to read it before I cut you off, Johnny, but it just looked like a good one. Yes, we would love to be more than just a TCRPG. Obviously, we want to come out of the gate as a strong TCRPG, but a little bit into the background of me is I started off collecting comics, wanting to become a comic book artist, telling stories. So I very much look forward to all the stories we have planned and plotted out. Me and Johnny have really put a lot of work into sculpting out these characters, not just in the sense of, you know, good gaming, but also diving into their backgrounds. Kind of like League of Legends, you know, like you play the game, but, you know, when you take an opportunity to read their backgrounds and stuff, you know, the world of Runeterra has a rich history and world and atmosphere and stuff that you can dive into. NomNom will be no different. NomNom is a whole world full of stories to tell, and characters and creatures and things and objects and artifacts and relics and things that we can dive into, that I think not only do I want to show you guys all this, but I feel like it needs to. You know, I could be a little bit biased in saying that, but I think the world thrives on good stories and good storytelling. So, you know, not to, you know, overextend myself here or just sound too egotistic here, but like I do think me and Johnny have sculpted out a very, very intriguing and charming and captivating story that once the TCRPG takes off, yes, are you kidding me? I'd love to do a comic and an anime, and oh man, just like,
yeah,
you know, like the IP doesn't stop at a TCRPG, and I just can't wait for you guys to get invested in the game so you can, you know, we can bleed your interest into more of NomNom, because NomNom really is this whole real estate of possibilities, and we have so much mapped out and built on already that once we get you guys involved with more of that, you guys can get involved with more of it. That sounded redundant, but I don't know, I just feel like there's just so much potential here and just so much foundation that it's you know, the sky is just the beginning, you know. It's just like there's no stone that we can't turn, you know. So Johnny, go ahead.
Like the only reason that we're not saying yes, there's a comic coming right now is because we want to stay focused on the game. Just for now, we want to stay focused on the game, and we want you guys to know that our attention is on the game and the production of it, the distribution of it, getting that right so that everybody has it and can play it. But Vic and I have already mapped out where we want to go with these characters and with graphic novel series. We already know what we want to do with this stuff. We just don't want to use that as something you're going to expect in the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter is for the game. We are about the game right now. When we move into the graphic novels and we start to tell you the stories of the world, you'll know, and we will approach that separately. But first, the game is the focus, and so that's why you hear us constantly saying, yes, we want to do that, but it's because we're staying focused. That's all.
Yep, we want everything that we release and do to be very strong, and have impact and have meaning, and feel like when it gets to you guys in any shape, way, or form that it comes in, it's received with a resounding applause. You know, we don't want to, like I said earlier, we don't want to half-ass anything. We want to really put all our focus and passion into what we're focused on at that point in time. So as the IP grows, so will we, and so will the community and stuff. Like, everything that we get out of this, we plan to put it back into it, and that really excites me and Johnny, because we really do have, I don't know, it just seems like a endless barrel of monkeys of just stuff that we can show you guys. But it's just a matter of time.
Of nomkeys.
Yeah, there you go. Barrel of nomkeys. Shame on me, but fuck, I should have led with that, man. But one more question, and it was a good one. Fallen Raptor says, last one. Favorite nomsters, go.
Are you waiting for me to go first?
Yeah,
or are you going first?
Yeah, don't ask me, man. Like, I gotta think about it more.
My gut feeling is Bugadon. I just gotta go Bugadon, man. I love that little dude.
He is so
I love
cute.
him so much, and he's a good card too. So.
He is pretty dang cute. Bugadon, final answer. All right, that's all you. Like, don't make me pick. They're all my babies. But Bugadon is a good one. So I've been.
Hydra's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. So like in the creator sense, I always get excited when we talk about Tsunamigator, and I don't know why. It's not like his design's better, or like he has this epic origin story. It's just something about him that just makes me like, yeah, like Tsunamigator, he's so cool. I like him. So to give you an answer with a gun point to my head, Tsunamigator right now.